Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title of this video, we are doing a summer makeup routine. I'm also going to be answering a few questions. We can catch up, so a little bit of a chit chatty get ready with me, if you will. As you can see, I have a bit of a tan. I got back from Hawaii like about a week ago, so the tan is still pretty fresh, but unfortunately LA has been so gloomy. Like, I think since I got back, like, we haven't had one sunny day, so that's been sweet. Let's get into the video. Also gonna check the questions, see what we got going on. I'm gonna start by prepping my base. I feel like the secret to like long lasting and like really glowy makeup is a really prepped skin base. I've been loving this Charlotte Tilbury Magic Serum. You guys follow me on TikTok, you know I always do the little... Okay, while this is sitting on my skin, I like to do my eyebrows first. I hate doing my eyebrows, so I like to get them out of the way. Probably my favorite brow gel, it is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. The best. I have fortunately been lucky to have worked on a few beauty campaigns, so I have to be on set to get ready, right? And I hate the way my eyebrows have been done pretty much every time, just because I tell them, like, they'll like normally like ask like, oh, like what kind of like makeup style do you like, or like how do you like to do your eyebrows, and I always say like a fluffed up brow, which is true, but they only will use like the Anastasia or the e.l.f. like brow gel, and those just like don't work on my eyebrow hairs. And I feel like the Anastasia and e.l.f. ones just have too much of a hold for my brow hairs. Like, I feel like they just make them look like they're like stuck to my skin and gives them that like wet look, which I don't like. Next, to fill in my brows, I like to use the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. Should we check out these questions? Oh, I got a text. Who is this? Wait, why is my mom blowing me up right now? Let's move on to skin while I answer some questions. Bad news about getting a tan though is I don't have any foundation that matches my exact skin tone right now. So I'm gonna be doing like a little concoction. This is very bronze and very glowy, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna start with the Say Glowy Super Gel in the shade Sun Glow. I love this one and I love it now even more than I'm tan. And then I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. Oh no, I don't like... Did I use the e.l.f. Halo Glow or did I use the Charlotte Tilbury? I think I like the Charlotte Tilbury one more. And the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, it is in the shade 5.5 Tan. So I got a lot of questions about Ablin Studios and my brand, and if I'm gonna put, you know, some of my bays on the PR list, like ones that have been following me since like my Depop era, and just like, or honestly just have been following me along and supporting for a long time. The short answer is I would love to put all my OG supporters on the PR list. I think I'll definitely do something special, because I do recognize some of my people's names and faces that I've like known, like where I see like in the comments or the DMs, you know, quite often. I don't have like anything specific planned right now, but I feel like I definitely would like them to feel really included, really special. Not that I don't want everyone to feel included and special, obviously, but I don't even have a PR list right now, honestly, guys. Like, my focus just isn't at the PR like send out stage quite yet. I'm having my photo shoot next week, so my mind has been focusing on that and making sure I have like everything in line. And then I've been having some kind of issues with my manufacturers, honestly, so that's been a little bit of a stress thing. But also, if you're new here and you don't know what I'm talking about, I started a clothing brand. It's called Ablin Studios, named after me because my name is Ablin. And yeah, I'm preparing to launch in the 3rd week of June. But like, it's kind of hard to explain. So I'm having a little bit of issue with my like production manufacturing, so obviously that's going to be an issue for people wanting to purchase if I don't have like all of my items ready to go. So I'm still planning to like launch the website and be able to order it in June, but I'm just like hoping and praying that it doesn't take like a month for people to get it because of that situation. So if that's the case, it'll be kind of like a pre-order situation, so that way people can still feel like they can buy it and, you know, like it's available, but it might take a little bit longer to ship out, which is so frustrating and annoying. I wish I could like have everything perfect, but I'm a team of one right now. This is my first time I'm learning as I'm going, but I really do think the clothes will speak for themselves and you guys will really like it. Next, for concealer, I have gone back to my roots of the Say Beauty Hydra Beam. I think this is maybe just like a summer concealer for me because I used this all last summer, and then when fall and winter started to come around, you guys know I switched over to the Lancome all over concealer. I think it's still one of my top concealers ever, but I feel like just like my skin right now is like craving a little bit more of like hydration under the eyes, so Hydra Beam is my baby for that. I'm wearing shade 3, but I like to do under eye section, and then I like to kind of carve out underneath. Again, I'm not a makeup artist, but I do feel like I am pretty savvy with makeup because my mom is a makeup artist and she's taught me a lot of things, and I grew up with like beauty influencers like on YouTube, so I watched them a lot. So take all my tips with a grain of salt. I literally can't stop thinking about The Little Mermaid. That movie was so freaking good and I want to see it again. I specifically can't stop thinking about Hallie's voice and Prince Eric and Sebastian. He was really funny. Okay, let's answer some more questions. Wow, this is such a nice question. How are you doing currently / what is your mindset right now, and what are your summer goals / inspo? How am I doing currently with my mindset? Well, I feel like it's obviously inevitable to compare yourself even if you're like not in the space of social media. Like I feel like anyone's gonna compare themselves. Also gonna be using my Dibs bronzer stick. So I feel like a little bit stressed sometimes because I'm, like I said, working on my brand, but also I feel like I'm working on my personal socials all the time, and I feel like if I'm splitting my time between both and I'm not giving my all to one. So I try to like I try to like plan out days where like I'll do content days and social media days, and then days where I'm like focusing on my brand, because obviously one can't do good without the other. So my mind sometimes is a little bit all over the place, and then if I'm like on my days where I'm like working on social media, I definitely feel like I'm not like doing enough or not good enough, or if I see people that have grown a lot faster than me and I'm like, dang, that's like a little bit, you know, frustrating, like I'm clearly doing something wrong, or like, you know, I'm just not as like likable as some other people. And honestly, sometimes like just even as a viewer, like I see like the same amount of people, like I'll see the same person or group of people like on my For You page, and I like don't like their videos. Not that I don't like them as a person, I just like don't prefer their content, but I'm like getting like their content pushed down my throat, and I'm like, okay, my content's definitely not getting pushed down people's throats because of like I can see the views and the likes, as opposed to like, you know, like where times where I've been like a little bit more like viral. So I feel like during those times it's kind of hard, but I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be in social media, it's gonna be kind of a gamble on, you know, whether like on what your success will look like. And that's like my mind on work wise. For summer, I'm just like really trying to focus on me and working. I always literally devote my time to work, whether it's like my social media or like my brand. I always just feel like more like I feel more confident doing that, as opposed to like times where I'm like trying to focus more on like relationships, if that makes sense. I always feel closer to like my friends than I do. I feel more confident about making friends and like keeping up with those types of people, as opposed to like putting myself out there in like ways where it's like more romantic, because I can be a little bit shy when it comes to that. I'm gonna move on to blush. So I'll show you my 3 favorite blushes as of late. First, we have the new Glow Sculpt by Say Beauty. It is in the shade Peach Glow. Next, if you guys live under a rock, my best friend Sarah came out with a blush for the summer. It is in the shade Bloom. You can see it's so pretty. I wore this on my TikTok yesterday, and it's so cute. And Persona Cosmetics has a really, really unique formula for their Dream Sticks. And my 3rd favorite blush, I was wearing this when I was in Hawaii and I freaking loved it. It is Patrick Ta's Blush Compact Blush Duo. Sorry, it's like a weird. In the shade She's Baked. Love the kind of reddish undertones. I feel like they work really well for like a tan right now, which I'm kind of thinking of doing a mix of these two. Another thing I was getting asked about was my dating life and can I share any tips and just like talk about dating, I guess. But first, ooh, Bloom is so cute. I'm so proud of Sarah. Okay, so dating. I am actually really weird about dating and I like to keep that super private, but something came over me when I'm seeing this guy and I was like, I kind of want to film a get ready with me. Sorry about that, I ran out of storage. Forgot my train of thought, but before I continue the story, I'm going to pile on this Patrick Top blush. I like to use my finger and I kind of like to focus it on like the middle part where it looks like I'm sunburnt. I feel like I always just had this perspective of like dating, and I'm like not someone that's like been in a lot of relationships, but I feel like I value relationships, and I always thought I preferred like being in a relationship than just to like casually date someone. But then as I kind of started to date around a bit, I kind of realized that I didn't want to be in a like serious relationship because I don't know why, like I'm not boy crazy, but like they were like taking up like my mind, and I feel like obviously I was still like living my own life and doing my own thing, but like I would be like in the back of my like mind like thinking about them, and I was like, oh my god, like that's so embarrassing. Like I'm not even like thinking of myself, and like I feel like this is a time where like I should be selfish and I should only be thinking about myself. Like I'm 23, I'm like in my first apartment, I'm like finally happy with my career, like my life. Like I shouldn't be like thinking of like a relationship that's gonna like take over my mind. Not that I'm like a big dater anyways, but I feel like I'm more open to just casually dating now, if that makes sense. And I feel like if something were to happen, like I feel like that is when it would happen, is like when you're like not putting so much pressure on yourself to like date someone. So yeah, that's my thoughts on dating right now, if that made any sense to anyone. I also just set my under eyes lightly with a powder puff using the Huda Beauty powder. I have the mini one and it's honestly, I still have a ways to go. And I have it in the shade Pound Cake. I'm gonna go back with the Patrick Ta blush and use the powder. I'm just like really into this kind of like burnt terracotta vibe for the summer. To give it an even more summery look, I'm going to use this freckle pen. You guys have seen me use it like 1,000 times. I got it off Amazon actually, and I think I got it like over a year ago and I still have it. Like it's still lasting me because it's just like a little marker. Cute little freckles. Next, I'm gonna go in with another glow sculpt from Say Beauty. This is in the shade Quartz Glow and it's more of like a highlight. So I kind of just like to take my finger and just put it right on top to kind of add a little bit more of that glow because I put powder. And then I like to put a little bit on my nose. Oh, I got a lot of questions asking me of like how I make friends and how to make friends in LA. And whilst I talk about that, I'm going to move on to eyes with eyelash curler and Rare Beauty mascara. I'm not really doing eyeliner right now, which is, I know, an Abe's signature, but I just feel like I'm not like in like the eyeshadow eyeliner phase right now, so it's just mascara. I literally used to cry all the time, ask my dad about this very specific subject about not having any friends. And when I say that, I don't mean Sarah or Alyssa. You guys know there's like Sarah's like my best friend, Alyssa's my sister, but obviously Alyssa's my sister. She has like her own friends and not everything we do is gonna be together. Like we have our own lives. And if you don't know, my best friend Sarah lives in Nashville, so I don't see her as often, but I do talk to her every day, so there's that. But I just felt like I didn't have any friends. Like if there was like something that would come up, and or if there was like something I wanted to do, like let's say like just going out to like to bars and like going out at night, if there was like a cool like something that came up, like I always felt like I didn't have anyone that I could like be like, hey, do you want to go to this with me? Because I felt like for years I was always the friend that would like reach out to people, and then when I would stop reaching out to them, like I wouldn't hear from them. So it was clearly a one-sided friendship. Literally would just like cry literally all the time and be like, I have no friends, like I'm like so lonely, like I don't like the way this feels, like I'm not gonna see Sarah for another month, like Alyssa's out with her friends. So I would just, you know, like be so lonely. And then I feel like it just had to do with a lot of things going on in my life. Like my parents were still, you know, in the process of getting divorced. I still lived in my family home. I was 22. Not that saying like you have to be at your house at a certain age, but I just felt like a lot of people I knew in my life weren't living at home anymore. So, and then like when I would try to go out, like they lived in like a different city. So it just like, it was just like different, you know? So I feel like that feeling came from a situation I was in, also a mind space that I was in, like a mindset that I was in. I feel like I just wasn't my best self because I would have been going through like a lot of like family stuff, and then I feel like I wasn't as like financially like stable, and like I was working 2 jobs at the time. So I feel like a lot of things made that situation of me not having friends felt worse. So I feel like right when I moved out and I started going to like more like work things, which I feel like at first I was like, okay, I had friends because I worked in like a normal job setting where I saw lots of people, so I felt like my human interaction was like a lot higher. And then obviously once I started doing social media, like I don't have like coworkers, if you will. But then I feel like last August of 2022 is when I feel like brand started picking up and started having like events and stuff like that. And then I would commute all the time from my family house in Chino Hills, where I used to live, to LA just to go to these events, because one, I like loved the events and I was like super excited to be even invited. But then I just feel like it was like a way for me to like get out of the house and like do something that was like my own thing, that like didn't revolve around like someone in my family, or just, you know, it was just like something that was mine. And then obviously from there I started to meet people, and then I feel like ever since then, like I started to kind of like make like my own group of like friends like in my adult age, because I obviously had like my friends that I've known forever but I don't really see anymore. But I, you know, I still consider them friends, but we just hadn't seen each other in a long time. And I feel like it's just different making friends as an adult than when you're, I guess, like in high school or still a teen, because I feel like you put so much pressure on like finding a best friend. I guess the more I started to, you know, like go to these like events and stuff like that, I made friends. And I feel like that's a very like, this is just like a very like niche situation that happened to me because I was going to like influencer events. But I mean, not every influencer I've ever met I'm like, would I be friends with you? Like before I knew it. Like now I feel like just thinking back on this and reflecting on it, like I feel like I've made so many like new friends, and it's so exciting because I wish I could tell myself like a year ago, honestly, even like, stop, like don't need to cry yourself to sleep, like you're not lonely, like people love you, you're gonna meet people, it's gonna be okay. But I feel like I just put so much pressure on myself at the time. Like I was like, I'm 22, like I should be living like my young 20s, like Carrie Bradshaw's Sex and the City life. Like why am I still at home? Why don't I have any friends? Why don't I have any, you know, like social life? But I mean, it's just all in your own timing, because right now like I couldn't be like any more blessed with like my social life, I guess. I wanted to rush my happiness when I just, it wasn't there yet, you know what I mean? Like I still had to work on myself and like go through some things. I mean, like if anyone's ever had like a divorced family or broken family, like it's really hard. But that was my really big spiel on like making friends. I think I was supposed to answer this, but I didn't, on what my summer plans are. I set my face now with the Milk Hydro Grip Refresh Spray. I'm going to Puerto Rico in a couple weeks with Dibs Beauty and Sarah. I think there'll be other content creators there too, but I don't know them, so I'll meet them there. Hopefully I can plan another trip with Sarah. We've been like dying to go to Miami for like a couple years now, honestly. I would love to go to Europe or like Greece or something like that. I don't know if that's in the cards for me this summer, but I feel like that would be so fun. I hope I go back to Mexico again one more time. I think I'm going to Oaxaca City with my mom, which will be lit because I've never been to Oaxaca. I'm also gonna do my lip combo now. I've been into this Rare Beauty lip liner. I don't know the shade name. Strong. It's pretty dark, but because I think I'm darker right now, it looks really good with my skin tone. Summer Fridays lip balm to fill in the rest of my lip. Sorry, I keep running out of storage. And this is my final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love it so much, and thank you guys for watching. Products linked below for you. Bye.